welcome. And today I'm just gonna be. We have our NFL insider, Jaxon, but he's not here right now, so I have him on my phone. And you might not be able to hear the best, but hopefully you can. And if it doesn't turn out well, I will remake this video. Anyway, let's just get started. So I told him the video would be up, so I'm just gonna leave it up until he gets me the good. Anyway, so it was on the bus, and obviously I'm a kid, so I take the bus to school, okay? So at times it will be kind of hard to hear, and it is a interview before, and yeah. So I just kind of recorded his voice, and there might be my brother and sister in the background. Anyway, so let's start it.
Okay, welcome everyone, and today I'm with the new NFL and NBA insider, Jaxon. And so sorry about the background noise, but we'll see if that quiets down after a while. Anyway, today's topic is we're going to be discussing the NFL, and we're going to be doing Jackson's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
In Wisconsin
State.
So,
Jaxon, how do you think they're going to do this year? I'm not going to make any bold predictions, but I think we'll do better than last season. I mean, it would be tough to make the playoffs, but it's going to be a lot better season, I'm predicting, because Tony Romo healthy, Des Bryant completely covered, and in the draft, we got the number 4 spot. We could really pick up a franchise player in that. So we could get such players as Brendan Rodgers, third, Joey Bosa, Ezekiel Elliott. I think Derrick Henry, we go with the defensive player in the first round. I believe we will pick up a running back in the second round. Because the Cowboys have really been struggling at the running back position because Joseph Randall, Lance Dunbar, Darren McFadden, Christian Michael, and that's a lot of people to just, switch off every back. I mean, they're not as reliable as others, so I think with Ezekiel Elliott or Derrick Henry, they'll be guys that can carry the load, especially Derrick Henry, because if you look at his statistics, he gets a lot to carry the game. He's a very durable, young, strong running back, and Ezekiel Elliott's a young, strong running back too, but he's more speed. Derrick Henry, he doesn't get as many carries because he's behind stud quarterbacks such as J.T. Barrett, a couple years ago, J.T. Barrett, Braxton Miller, I think his name is Chandler Jones, I can't remember, Cardell Jones is what his name is, and so I think the Cowboys will have a tough but good season, and I think we'll split the series with the Eagles. Okay? Now, so you're saying that the Cowboys, that their key to success here is getting a good running back. Is that correct? Correct. Because we're going to need that. And last year, you had running backs switching off like every play, and they weren't even that great. Yeah, that was Darren McFadden. That was Darren McFadden and Christian Michael. And and how big of a loss was DeMarco Murray? I believe he wasn't as big of a loss as we thought. I mean, he was a huge loss at the start, but towards the end we realized that the only reason he was doing so good was because of our line. But he was the perfect player for our line. So I think the Cowboys will be more than happy to bring him back, but apparently Jerry Jones isn't looking at the same way I am looking at it, because essentially at such a young draft team, Murray is asking for so much money, we won't be able to pay for Murray and Dez and our whole line. I mean, Murray was the one that we should have gotten rid of. So I believe it was a smart choice to let Murray go to free agency. So I believe he wasn't that big of a loss, but, we do need a better back this season. Okay, so you're saying that the reason DeMarco Murray was such a great fit for the Cowboys and why his performance was so good because of your line. Yes, and his running style fit almost perfect with their line. Okay, just Dez. So you're saying Dez and keeping the line and all that was a smart move. that was a very smart move. If we get rid of one of those O-linemen, I mean, it would be bad because, I mean, we got this nice young lineman in Lelio Collins, and if we were to give up anybody on that line, they wouldn't be able to mentor him and get him as good as he has been. So I think getting rid of any O-lineman would have been out of the picture. And well, getting rid of Dez, that's just nonsense. We would not get rid of Dez. But the hard part was we did have to franchise Dez, so that was hard.
Okay. So, do you think Dez is going to become a franchise player?
I think he already is a franchise player. It's between him and Romo. I think they're equal franchise players because, you know, Dez does a lot. Dez is actually a better blocker. Most people don't know this, but Dez is a very good blocker. He's one of the, I gotta say, best blocking wide receivers in the league. He has been criticized on his blocking before, but he's actually a pretty consistent blocker on running plays. But with Romo, if you look at it, I don't believe Aaron Rodgers should have won the MVP. I mean, a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but if you think about it, Tony Romo won the best quarterback in the NFC. DeMarco Murray won the best offensive player in the NFC. And Aaron Rodgers goes and wins the MVP. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
Okay, who would you be sadder to see go, Romo or DeMarco Murray? I'm sorry, Jess Bryant.
I would be pretty sad to see Dez go because Dez is young. I mean, we all know Romo's going to be leaving the team soon. He's old. He's going to retire. So I believe it wouldn't be a stun if Romo were to be retired next year or possibly even this year, 2 years from now. It wouldn't be a huge stun. He's getting old. He's getting injured. You know, and that's not good for his health. But Dez is so young, so much potential, and I believe that seeing Dez go would be very hard to Cowboy Nation.
Okay. Now, let's say Tony Romo left this year. Now, with Johnny Manziel on the market and Colin Kaepernick, would you say that would be, which one do you think would be better for the Cowboys?
Kaepernick, because Johnny Manziel, some people won't agree with me, but Johnny Manziel sees nothing but trouble. He has brought a bad name to the Cleveland Browns football organization. With the Cowboys having so much legacy, so much past behind them, I believe Johnny Manziel coming in and trying to ruin that all would be very hard for the Cowboys because we need all the money we can get. So that means more fans. The more fans we get, the more comes to our games. The more comes to our games, the more money we get. So I believe that with Johnny Manziel coming, we have very bad moves. But Colin Kaepernick is actually still more popular than Manziel because Kaepernick has a better running ability. He has a better arm. He has a better running ability, a better arm than Manziel, and you know, he doesn't get into legal trouble. And he hasn't brought a bad name to the Niners. He just hasn't played well. So I think that it'll be smart. It would be smarter for the Cowboys to pick up Kaepernick out of the market instead of Manziel. I think Manziel, the only team he shouldn't be playing for is rehab.
Okay, so you're saying that this is kind of all about respect?
Yes. That's the only reason nobody's signing Manziel because of his legal trouble.
Okay. Anyway, so let's say the Cowboys, do you think the Cowboys should get a quarterback this draft and kind of build him up and get ready for when Romo's departure?
I think that the Cowboys shouldn't focus on the quarterback, but if we have a nice, decent quarterback, you know, somewhere in a later round, I think that would be a smart move to pick him up because, you know, who's our backup? Jaxon. He sucks. So, but with, what's his name? Kellen Moore, I think. Something like that, Kellen Moore. I think that's his name. But, yeah, him, he is so small, 5'9" or 5'11", one of those two. He can barely see past our whole line because we have big studs. He can't really see, and so when he throws deep, I think it was the game versus the Jets. That was when his first start. He threw, Castle threw a couple interceptions, and the kid, Kellen Moore, threw like 2 or 3, I believe, on deep throws. He can't see. He's not old enough to read the defenses yet. So I think we should draft a veteran 4-year quarterback or 3 years, someone who knows the defenses, knows their game plan, stuff like that would be smart for Tony Romo's backup in case he gets hurt again. Or we could just not draft one, pick him up in a draft next year, or pick up a quarterback in the free agency.
Yeah, so last year Tony Romo went 3-0 when he played. 3 wins.
Technically, he went 3-1 because he didn't play the full game. He did play against the Panthers.
Okay.
He might have played the full game. I'm not.
But then again, that was the Panthers.
Yeah, that was the Panthers. They're hard to beat, but it could have been done. I mean, that's the Broncos.
Okay, so as you were talking about Matt Castle, do you think that if there was a team looking for a quarterback, you could trade Matt Castle for another pick? Would that be a smart move?
We could not trade Matt Castle.
Why don't you think so?
Trust me.
But earlier you said you could.
Yeah, I said we could not trade him. No team would want him.
Okay. The Browns are desperate for a quarterback.
And the Browns have a very high pick in the draft to go after Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, Paxton Lynch. They have a lot of options for quarterbacks. I mean, Connor Cook, that would be a bad first round, but they could pick him up in the second round since they have such early pick. So I believe they could just pick someone up in the draft.
But do you think that a team may have some sort of interest in Matt Castle because he has had experience in the NFL?
He has made a Pro Bowl, but what he has done with the Cowboys has just been horrible. So he has a possible upside to him, but he has a very dark downside. So I think that I don't think anybody would want to pick him up. I think he'll be out of the league. I think he'll be out of the league here in maybe a couple years or maybe even this year. Just like Manziel.
Okay. Okay. So the record-wise, do you have any thoughts on that?
We went 4-12. I'm hoping for a better season because 4-12 is very disappointing. We're expecting a good season because last season we did very good. Right when Romo got hurt, you could see the face on the fans after when he was walking to the locker room with this is a trainer, Jason Garrett, and you could read his lips. He said, "It's broken." So I think at that moment, lots of Cowboys fans were very, they were sad and they're sad, stuff like that. So I think it'll be hard, but with Romo healthy, I think it'll be a better season, but I'm not gonna say playoffs. I think we might make the playoffs, but if we do,
Very low chance of making the playoffs.
we will probably be a wild card.
Very low chance.
We'll probably be a wild card. Probably 8%.
Yeah. Anyway.
Super Bowl if we're talking about it.
Ignore that.
I was not talking about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I was.
Ignoring me. He knows nothing. Anyway. Okay. So what do you think he meant by broken? Do you think the Cowboys' legacy or respect in the league?
Or what Zach you have? Zach. He was talking about his collarbone.
Okay.